out with Danna's hands look old.
I just clicked recording. I said I feel like my hands look old. I think they're getting old.
I've had man-looking hands like for all ages.
Really? I don't think I have man-looking hands. I don't think I said that.
I do. Like
rude.
my hands have always looked old.
All right. Anyways, hi.
Well, we survived the solar eclipse.
Okay.
Super
Can
cool.
I just say that I was kind of like, why is everybody making such a big deal? Like,
I was frankly tired of hearing about
it.
it.
I'm like,
I was
okay,
excited.
whatever. It wasn't that I wasn't excited. I was just like, okay, yeah, we'll go see it. Everyone's like, what are you doing for the eclipse? I'm like, nothing. I'm going to go walk out in my driveway. Like, it was so cool.
It was
like,
very
it
neat.
Definitely lived up to the hype, I feel like. I thought it was pretty neat. So I'm glad that
It was nice. My sister and her husband and our two kids, Olive and Archie came up. And so we did lots of fun things with them and played in the playground and they hot tubbed. I think they lived in our hot tub. Like they literally were in the hot tub hours each day.
So I enjoyed coming over and seeing them, except...
Danna, do you want to come over and you want to see Jessica because she's ready to have her baby?
Super excited to come see her, and I visited for a little.
The kids are so cute.
And then I got to see Olive, and all of a sudden she just started crying. And then Jessica's like, oh, this is where she pukes. I'm sorry, what? And she's like, yeah.
Continues to hold her in my kitchen.
Right.
By all of the food that everybody was eating.
And I'm like, what do you mean this is where she pukes? She's like, oh, she's been doing it lately. Like she gets real upset and then just throws up. And sure enough, she predicted it. And I will say Jessica's like reflexes and aim were fantastic because she did get her directly over the kitchen sink. She then stood there, which after she stopped throwing up, she probably would have, most people would have taken her to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not Jessica.
She stood there, just kept puking. It was,
and it was yogurt and milk, if that says much.
Appetizing and smelled very good.
And Danna was like,
I got a little bit of dry heave.
She's grossed out. She's like, I can't believe this is happening. I think I have to leave.
I don't do puke. I don't like when my kids puke. I don't like when I puke.
You know what's worse than the puke smell itself? Was the little powder stuff they sprinkled on it at school or the bus when somebody threw up.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Oh, it's so gross.
But
I don't love
say,
vomit either. I don't like
Olive
to do it.
Olive came back. I told her she puked and rallied.
She puked and rallied.
She played and was perfectly fine. So
it was because she drank a whole thing of milk.
There was a lot of dairy right there.
And then the yogurt. That's it. And she ate no other food.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
So she was fine after that. And she was super cute. And it was nice to see them. And then
the next day, she was feeding me. Because, she's the baby, but they're going to have a baby. So she likes to, feed everybody and pretend they're the baby.
Right.
She was feeding me Cheetos, but she was licking them first and then giving them to me. So we had to do the whole, pretend to eat it, throw it over the head and pretend to. Because I'm like, that girl just puked yesterday.
Yeah, that's gross.
But she's so cute.
So bad.
She's so fun. Let's talk about you.
What about me?
I was playing. I actually had a little play date with, why can't I think of her name? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. The little girl that comes to the market all the time.
Lily.
I don't know why I couldn't think of her name. Lily was there. I'm like, oh my gosh, Olive is here. So I was playing in the playground with Lily and Olive and her dad. It was very fun. They're running around. They're both 2. They were just having they're best friends. They're holding hands going into the market. It was very cute. And Danna called, but I couldn't answer because I was waiting at the bottom of the slide.
I didn't know where you were going with this.
And it's Danna, and I didn't. It was in my pocket, so I just saw it on my watch, and then I was going to call back, which I did. And I get that look at my text, and it's like, emergency.
This is an emergency. I need you to get to my house immediately. And for anyone that does not know how close we live to each other, the kids can walk to each other's houses. We literally live around the block. It's a 2-minute drive. So that is my first phone call if I have an emergent situation. And
I was playing on the playground.
My husband was on the golf course, so he was 20 minutes away. And I went outside to throw something in the trash, and I walked back in the house, and Joey is like, Mom, there's a mouse. And I'm like, no, there's not. And he's like, yeah, there is. And there was a dead mouse just hanging out by my front door.
Did it have teeth marks in it?
No, I didn't look close enough.
So how did it die?
So I'm thinking that maybe the dogs knocked it, batted at it pretty good, or maybe had it in their mouth.
You think it was really in your house and then they killed it?
So it's either that or they brought it. Yeah.
I want to know the details.
You got.
So when I called her back, she was literally freaking out of
So
her
I
mouth.
was in tears.
So
well,
she
wait,
says
but at this
she
point,
had to call the neighbor to do
so
it.
I called my husband. First I called Tom, and he's like, "Go." My first call was to Kristin because I knew Tom was on the golf course, and I knew I needed someone here quick. And so
it was dead. It wasn't going anywhere.
it didn't matter. We were like, "What if it's sleeping? Like, what if it's not really dead?" So Tom's like, so it's me, Olivia, and Joey. Tom and Sam are on the golf course. So Tom tells us to go. We have like mail bins in our garage. So Tom's like, go get one of the mail bins and just put it over top of it. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. He's like, and I'll deal with it when I get home. I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. So Olivia goes out, gets a mail bin. I'm like, you got to put that on there. I can't even get close enough to put that on there. And she's like, well, I can't put it on there. I'm like, well,
a mail bin over a mouse, people.
I can't put it on there. So the two of us sat there crying, going back
Joe
and forth.
could have taken care of it. He's the real man.
We offered it to him, and he said no to. So don't let him fool you. He was acting like he was all tough. He was like, it's just a mouse. It's not going to hurt you. But he wasn't putting the mail bin over the mouse. So then I called.
I'm like, why didn't you just go get a tissue, pick it up by the tail,
that is
put
absurd.
it in the garbage? So the neighbor, I'm not going to say his name, but just as bad, he comes with a shovel.
Yeah.
I'm like,
wonderful.
Grab a plastic bag inside out. Grab it, put it in the bag, seal it.
You
put
are
it
a
in your thing.
Neanderthal.
You're not touching the mouse. It's
you
plastic.
You are a Neanderthal. Who does that?
You pick up
normal
the dog
people
poop in a bag.
Not the point. Normal
That's
people.
That's worse than the mouse.
No. No. Normal people use a shovel. Nobody picks up a dead mouse.
Walking down the street with a shovel to get a mouse.
He drove. And Lisa, I know you listen, and thank your husband once again for me. But honestly, he drove, and he's like, I said, oh, Tom has a, what's it called? What is it called?
A shovel?
No, a sweep.
Oh, a little dustpan.
A dustpan. I said, Tom has a dustpan in the shed. Do you want me to go grab it? And he goes, no, as long as you don't mind my shovel in your house. I'm like, no, I don't mind. And he brought a box and a shovel, and he shoveled it into the box.
Is he gonna bury it?
That Liv did ask that, but no, then he threw it in the trash. But now I haven't taken the trash out since then because
so
I don't know.
You still have the dead mouse in your trash.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know which trash it's in. We have 3 cans.
It's outside. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. There's 3 cans, so I'm afraid to open any of them. So I haven't taken.
You think it's still alive?
No, I just don't want to see it. So I haven't taken the trash out since Sunday. Like I'm making everyone else take the trash out. I have no idea which bin it is in.
Silly.
I was in tears. It was awful. So then I texted the picture that I texted to Kristin to our exterminator friend, Matt.
Oh, he was here because I pulled in and he was here.
He came today.
I saw him.
So I texted him a picture.
What's he doing to eradicate these beasts?
Well, he puts traps, not traps, but like
poison.
Poison, yeah, like in certain spots. I'll tell you another story. But so I texted him the picture, and he's like, "Well, that's not supposed to be there." And I was like, "No, it is not." He's like, "I'll be there tomorrow." He was very helpful.
Does he put them outside or inside?
I think outside.
And what if your dog catches one of the mice that's been poisoned? Your dog will get poisoned.
I have big dogs. I think they'll be okay.
Okay.
But one time we found there was a mouse when we walked. One of the kids and I don't remember who it was. I think it was Sam. We opened the garage door, like the man door that from into our house, and I went to go outside to my car, and there was one dying a slow death. This was like 10 years ago.
It ate the poison.
It must have eaten.
It ate the punch.
But I don't do mice. Like I will pick up dog poop all day. I cannot pick up a dead mouse. So that was my terrible, terrible Sunday.
Oh my.
Yep, it was awful.
Well, we were discussing kids and lunches. I don't love packing a school lunch. In fact, when summer's here, like I love summer because the kids are home, but I don't have to pack a lunch.
That's the worst
I might have
part
to
of the
cook a
school year.
lunch, but I don't want to have to pack the lunch.
I would agree. Worst part of the school year is packing a lunch.
After spring break, and then this past weekend, I got an email that said we had negative school lunch balance of like $10.
So do you get that often? Because like I get it all the time.
No, because I usually put $100 in.
So I only put like 30 or 40 at a time. Because
Listen,
I'm cheap.
I put $25 in Campbell's account 2 years ago, and it's still $25. I need to transfer it from her to the boys.
I'm too cheap. I have 3 kids. $40 a pop is $120 every few weeks. This adds up.
That's what we pack.
Well, we pack a lot.
So a school lunch is what? $3.35?
No, for Joey it's $3.35. It's
Okay,
$3.75 for the
middle
school.
$3.75. So we pulled up Parker's spending, and we went through this with Jack before, and Jack was spending too much too. Oh, excuse me, it's been a long day. He got the lunch, which was $3.75, plus a sandwich or a piece of pizza, which was what? $1? No, $2.75. That's an expensive lunch. So we had to go over this. Plus, sometimes we were looking like he was getting lunch when I pack a lunch. No, the kid is a big kid.
Okay.
But regardless, no one needs to eat that much food. And he's not.
Well,
so he's like delegating it out, or people are taking it, or whatever it is.
And like I said to him today, like he said he got a pizza and a lunch. And that's like what Sam got too. And I said, or that maybe that's what Sam got. I don't know.
That's what Sam got. No, Parker definitely got the lunch, and he said he was hungry, and he sent me a picture of what it was.
So my thing is like, that's not healthy either. Like if you're still hungry, you need to get like, that's what I was saying. Like they need to get something. Sam was still hungry after his tacos, so he bought a piece of pizza. We say
if Sam's hungry, then Parker's definitely,
for sure.
He's like 3 times his size, like the weight of him.
No question. Like I'm not discounting that's
no,
not
but
enough
it needs
food
to be
for
more
him.
filling.
Like I get that. That's
so
fine.
Tomorrow, what we're doing, I packed like 3/4 of a cucumber.
But you have to remember, these kids also do not understand. Like this is not a Parker thing or a Sam thing. This is that age boy. They just eat. They just keep eating unless you say to them, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Like it is not healthy. It is that age. Like, and I know it's like, oh, it's a joke, boys eat, blah, blah, blah. They'll eat you out of house and home. But like in all seriousness, then they need to eat the right things to fill them up,
So he eats his cucumbers. He and Jack both love cucumbers. Mm-hmm. So he gets, normally it's half a cucumber each a day for lunch, like between the boys. He eats that. It's always a fruit. I'm learning he doesn't want his cosmic brownie, so that's good. We took that out. And he's getting his wild berry yogurt. So I'm like, tomorrow, buy a sandwich or buy a piece of pizza. So I did not pack your lunch, like your sandwich part. So go buy that.
But like all this time that's been going on, like the cosmic brownie, for example, why didn't you just say, because my kids do the same thing. Why didn't you just say,
I don't want the cosmic brownie.
I'll put something else in there. Believe me, you and I both, I would rather put something in that you're actually going to eat than something that you're either going to throw away or trade out. Like that's dumb. I'm not buying food to feed the rest of the table.
And some people could say, why didn't you have them pack their own lunch, which is fine, but they would still pack the same thing because that's what we have at our house.
Correct. And so like, but if you tell me you want me to buy something else at the store, I would rather
buy what you want.
$6.50 on lunch today. I can buy lunches for
times 5,
3 days, right?
Times 4,
right? Easily, like 4 days a week, or however many kids, or whatever way you want to look at it. That gets insane. So I'm very mad.
Yeah, it's a real lunch dilemma.
Yeah, but
so I don't know. I'm
the other side of
kids
this,
do like, do you let them buy? Do you
but
let
I got to
them
be
pack?
honest. When I see it's something that they want, I'm like, oh yes, I don't have to pack lunch.
It is nice, but not when they're spending $7 or $8
but like
or $9.
I know all 3 of mine want to buy tomorrow, and I'm like, great. That means I don't have to pack lunches tonight.
Yeah.
So whatever.
So we never really got to talk about my niece on Disney and her like little Sephora obsession. Mm-hmm. So I feel like for this younger generation, we've had this on the notes to talk about. It's like Sephora and Starbucks or Dunkin'. Which, speaking of Dunkin', remind me to tell you something after we finish this. So she loves Sephora, loves Starbucks.
So are we going to talk about how you enabled it?
Well, she's my niece. It was really fun.
So
she's not my kid. Okay. So we went to Sephora and we got Summer Fridays, a little lip gloss. It was fun.
It's great.
I don't even have Summer Fridays.
There's a problem with these kids that want all this Sephora, but I'll just be the one to buy it because I'm the funny aunt.
Well, when I checked out, I'm like, is it weird that I'm asking my 9-year-old niece for makeup advice?
Right.
And she's like, pretty common, actually. But anyways, so I was thinking, like, what did we do when we were teenagers?
We went to Revco and bought Maybelline and Wet n Wild.
Wet n Wild.
That's what we bought.
For sure.
Okay.
And it cost like 59 cents.
Correct. And I remember I could tell you the perfume that I wore.
What perfume did you wear? I never wore a perfume.
Well, okay. So when I first started wearing perfume, it was like this Love's Baby Soft, I think. And it was in this little pink with a rounded top, and it was a roll-on.
Oh.
Okay. And
I
this
don't
was
think
like,
I had perfume.
So this was like, I had to have been in like maybe 4th or 5th grade. This was like everyone's like starter, like that age, like, oh, you want to wear perfume, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what I started with. And then as I got older, I got CK1.
Oh, Calvin Klein.
Yeah, CK1. It was like
that was kind of a scandalous
perfume.
commercial. Do you remember with the guy that was topless?
And it was like
with his Calvin Klein jeans.
All of my friends wore CK1. That was like the perfume to wear. So
did you ever wear Clinique Happy?
I never got
That was
into
kind
that.
of a thing.
No, and then honestly, I stopped wearing perfume because Bath and Body Works became really big, and I was like, I could just smell like sun-ripened raspberries all day long.
Sun-ripened raspberry. That was like the
right?
most popular
And
one.
there was a cucumber,
Cucumber melon.
Cucumber melon. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Cucumber melon was the other one. But sun-ripened raspberry was like, that's what I wore. I didn't need perfume.
Yeah.
I just wore sun-ripened
I
raspberry.
never really wore perfume.
I would like douse myself in it. My mom probably was like dying, couldn't breathe, but it's
My
fine.
mom always had Estee Lauder. I think it was actually Estee Lauder Pleasures. So sometimes I would sneak hers, but I had Happy, like a little sample of Happy. I would occasionally use that. I don't know.
When I was like older, high school, maybe even into college, there was a Victoria's Secret Pink. Pink had come out, and they had a perfume, and everybody wore it, and I can't remember now what
I don't
it was
remember
called.
that one.
I don't know, but yes, those were all the perfumes. So my point is everyone's making a big deal about like these little kids are doing all this stuff.
Ours was just different.
We did it too. We just did it. That's like when people say, "Do you hear the lyrics in these songs today? Do you hear the lyrics of what we sang in 4th and 5th grade by Salt and Peppa?" I sure did not know what I was saying. And holy cow, I'm embarrassed to this day. Okay. So all these songs that have all these bad words that people are freaking out about, it's like, we did the same thing. First of all, it wasn't as publicized because there was no social media. So there wasn't opportunity. There weren't.
But we did have something.
What?
We had AOL Instant Messenger.
We did. Well, I remember when I was in 4th. No.
You've got mail.
So, yeah, but we were even older though, because I remember.
We were a little older.
I remember I bought my family.
I was in high school.
Yeah. But I'm saying not 9.
No,
like,
no.
So these kids have social media at 9 years old.
But they have Facebook Messenger.
For
and like
sure.
all the different messengers.
And I know
or
my
cell
kids,
phones.
my kids have it. Right. So my point is though, is that it's a bigger deal now because we all did it anyways, but now it's broadcasted.
But listen, I'm glad we didn't have social media when we were growing up. Can you imagine everything that was being documented?
I cannot. I probably would not be living the same life I'm living today.
You'd be in jail.
No, but I would probably have an arrest record for like running from the police in high school. Like parties and
I forked a house once.
What do you mean you forked a house?
Didn't you guys ever fork a house?
I never forked a house.
You take plastic forks and stick them all in their yard and they wake up and there's plastic forks all over their front yard.
No, we used to, oh my gosh, my girlfriends and I would toilet paper our boys, not boyfriends, but friends that were boys. We had we had a kind of like how our kids have, like a really great big group of kids.
That's the new ding dong ditching.
Yeah, basically. And we toilet papered, and I'll never forget, we went to Rite Aid in Mayfield Heights and we bought like tons of cheap toilet paper, and we're standing in line and there's a policeman in front of us. And like, he knew exactly, like no kids at 11 o'clock at night, like
need that much
15,
toilet paper.
16-year-old girls are buying boatloads of toilet paper at 11 o'clock on like a Saturday night. Like that's what we were doing. But yeah, we had fun, but I would definitely, social media would not have fared well with.
Would have been terrible.
It would have not been good. I
didn't even do anything that bad. But there are some things I'm like, I'm glad nobody could just like take a picture of that.
Well, and then now, 20, 30 years later, remember when you did this? No, I can say I never did stuff.
We never did it. It doesn't exist.
Like there's no proof. There's no pictures, nothing.
It's not a thing.
No, like there was pictures of everything now. It's just bad.
Oh my gosh.
Bad. So anyways, yeah. So I'm glad.
Campbell comes home from Greece
tomorrow
is so exciting. Night late.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this after tomorrow, Wednesday morning, Campbell is still in Greece. She's had a phenomenal time. She's like exhausted, ready to come home, but at the same time, like is loving it so much.
For sure.
There'd be so much more she'd want to do. So I cannot wait to hear about the trip.
I'm so excited.
I'm like really dying. And she's bringing us some really fun like Greek things. So she got you some olives.
I'm very excited. Like I love just how like what a cool cultural experience. Like just very, very cool.
It's very cool, except she's like, Mom, I'm getting really nervous about all the homework that she has to make up.
Well, she's missed some school. Heck yeah.
So until next time, friends.
Have a great week.
We're mismatched.